To the stage will be Dr. Louise van Rhyn from Partners for Possibility. Please.
It's an absolute privilege for me to be here today. I'm here from South Africa, and if we can get our slides up for the next session. And I think I need the clicker. Rebecca, do we have the clicker? Thank you. So South Africa is a deeply wounded and unequal country. The latest result says that we are one of the most unequal countries in the world. And many of you will have seen some of these pictures. And that inequality is reflected also in our schools. So we have essentially two systems of public schools. 20% of our schools are world class, that's 5,000 of our public schools, but 80% are failing our children. And when I say they're failing our children in that 78% of the grade 3s in our country cannot read for meaning in any language. So 20% of our schools are well-resourced with great teachers and facilities and manageable class sizes, and 80% have very few resources, badly trained teachers, or teachers who've not been well-trained, very large class sizes, and bad education outcomes. So, and the latest research, the PILS results shows that poor children cannot read and rich children can. That's heartbreaking in a country 24 years after democracy. So why is this case? Well, we have to accept that apartheid played a massive role. During apartheid, our teachers were trained in Bantu education. They were not trained to have good education outcomes. And as a country, we have not been able to spend the money that was required after 94 to fix that. So for the last 24 years, our government has been tinkering around the edges, and very sadly, social change organizations and philanthropic organizations have been supporting initiatives that has quick outcomes that we can measure and we can show great results within a year. So the challenge we have is very clear. 20,000 of schools that are failing our children in our country. Each school has its own unique challenges. In most cases, we have principals who have no idea how to lead a complex organization. And we know there is no one-size-fits-all. We need a complex solution for a complex challenge. So how would business respond to this? This is talking to Rebecca's point earlier around the innovations are not all going to come from education. So I come from business, and I ask myself, how would we respond to that? Well, firstly, we will work with the leader of the units that are, if this was a bank, we would work with the leaders of those units that are underperforming, and we would support and equip these leaders. We will give them change leadership skills, we will give them additional support in HR, IT, finance, and we will develop a custom-made plan for each of those units. So we ask ourselves, how do we do that for our schools? How do we, given our significant resource constraints? So our context required very specific attention. We have had centuries of disrespect with white people and affluent people coming into our schools, acting as if they don't know and others don't. And we wanted to do something in a way that would be different from condescending and patronizing help. So we asked the principals, what would work for them? And they said, please don't adopt us. You adopt puppies and babies, you don't adopt principals. Please don't come to fix us. That's demeaning and patronizing. Don't dump your old stuff on us. And actually, we love this idea of a possibility of reciprocal relationship. So that's what we've done. We've developed the Partners for Possibility Leadership Development and Principal Support Program. That is a reciprocal partnership between business leaders and school principals, where the task of these two people are to lead change at the school and develop additional leadership capacity, mobilize the community, and create a better outcome for our children. So we have business leaders bring what business leaders have to offer, knowledge, skills, experience, network, all those things. Principals bring deep knowledge about their community, domain knowledge about education, humility, resourcefulness, and we bring South Africa's gold dust together across these traditional boundaries to address, to develop leadership capacity. So this process is structured, facilitated, replicable, designed for scale, and I'll be happily talk to anybody about the detail when you talk later. But we were thinking, what is it that makes what we do special? We are connecting human beings who care in relationships that enable them to do work that is required in our country. And so it's about love and relationship and compassion and intimacy. And we are scaling intimacy. So far, we've managed to impact 680,000 children in 850 schools. We want to scale to many, many more. And the impact that we've seen is we've seen better functioning schools, more confident and energized principals, school management teams who work together, engage in supporting parents. We've helped parents bring to the school. We've seen more leadership capacity in our school. We've seen more support for the school from the local community and better facilities, and ultimately better education outcomes. So we are creating a bridge between education and business, and at the same time we are healing our very divided nation. So I brought to you today Mrs. Asina Muhammad, who says that this process has been life-changing for me. She's one of 850. I am more empowered. I've learned from my partner. I now feel that I can do this. And so when we started, everybody said to us we were smoking something, this is not doable. And we are reminded daily that Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it is done. Thank you.